Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another exciting week of Sunday Night Skippy Racing action. We are joining the Skippy Formula 2 qualifying live here at Road Atlanta. This is going to be the second race of the second season for Skippy Formula 2, sixth season for Sunday Night Skippy overall. Later on, Pete Mobrotten will be joining us, but for the moment, it's just you and me, and we're going to watch some awesome racing going on here with the Skippy Formula 2 drivers at one of my favorite tracks, and I've never run this in the Skippy myself, but I got to say I'm looking forward to a very tactical race, I think is going to be the way to put that. So welcome to the Dirty South, and let's take a look at what the drivers are up against here. As we check in on the final standings, the qualifying session has come official, and Michael McLeod looks like he's going to be taking the pole. Do not believe anybody else is out on a flying lap right now. I could be wrong. We are joining a little bit late, but I guess we'll call that unofficial for the moment with Andrew Cole and Oliver Hartley 2 and 3. So we will keep an eye on that as we go into the grid session here, and the drivers will get their driver briefing. 13 drivers in total so far in the session, although 12 have set a time. We will see how many end up gridding, but that's pretty dang good grid for our second season here. And we've got serious competitors throughout the field for that season-long championship. Looks like, let's see, pretty much all returning folks from who did at least one race last year. Raphael Bofil is the only newcomer so far, and looks like he'll be starting 5th at the moment unless something changes. He's still out doing a flying lap, apparently, having made the cutoff there, although the timing doesn't make sense for that. There we go. All right, I felt like I was taking crazy pills. All right, here we go with the grid. Here is what we'll be looking at tonight. 12 drivers will start. We've got Michael McLeod on the pole, and Andrew Cole will be starting on the front row alongside him in that 51 machine. The rest of the field there, for your viewing pleasure, going to be a very competitive field tonight. I know that a lot of these guys are starting to get more and more comfortable with each other with each race that goes on, and I know that I am looking forward to seeing just how far. Oops, why is this not working? The progress that we make each week, and this is just got to be one of my favorite races to watch. I know it's silly because it's just smaller fields than you'd even get in a public match, but these drivers have just a lot of respect for one another, and the racing is top notch. So there's your starting field for tonight. Let's go and check in with the grid here. We got some beautiful views of Road Atlanta. Looks like they are still receiving the driver's briefing. Let's see if we can't listen in potentially on that. That may shed some light. Nope, apparently not. We're ready to race, so let's take a look at the field here as the lights are about to go out, and Barney's going to wave that green flag. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Skippy Formula 2 race at Road Atlanta is off. very tough first set complex of corners really on these cold tires. I expect to see some off tracks, and that's not any sort of assessment of the drivers. I tried to do this myself on Wednesday night with these guys, and found myself off track way more often than I probably should have. But look at these guys, professionals navigating through Sector 1 with ease. They're making it look easy tonight, and it assure you is not. Michael McLeod leads the field with Andrew Cole right in tow. Oh, and we do have a car on. Nick Tullo has crashed. How is he in the back there? The 181 machine is around, although it looks like he has survived any severe damage. Look at Andrew Cole here, right on the gearbox. Now, that straightaway is going to be just the great equalizer in both races tonight. So I want to call it a technical section, but Sector 1 really does have a lot of turns that you got to navigate fairly well. But unless you build up a huge gap, that straightaway in the back is going to let everybody catch up with the big hole that everyone punches. Jake Ashe in the grass looks like he is surfing through there, and no worse for the wear. Able to save it and file right in there below, but he's going to be off again. Is he going to save it this time? Jake doing some off-roading using his dirt oval experience to great effect, although he will lose positions. He is far from out of it at the moment. Great stuff there from Gashe. Turn the cars down just a little bit there. Sorry about that. Back up here to the front of the field, Michael McLeod in the number 15, still leading the race, under pressure from Andrew Cole, although Andrew just kind of hanging back for the time being, not making any huge moves. Oliver Hartley is rounding out your podium right now, but he is company there with the 12 of Neil Walker. Who is gonna send it too wide? Risky move, locks up the left front, but makes it stick. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's straight away. But Oliver's gonna say, oh man, look at that. That is risky. The new damage model on the Skip Barber. You touch wheels and it is pretty much game over. These guys, a lot of, oh, where'd Oliver go? Oh, there he is. These guys obviously have a lot of respect for one another and trust, because sending it too wide down there through that turn, very risky, but pays off in the early runnings there for Oliver Hartley after Neil Walker makes a fantastic move. And while we're talking here, Andrew Cole makes the pass. We'll take a look back. So that happened right ahead of the action there with Neil Walker. Same spot. Expect to see a lot of passes there tonight. You can see Neil Walker there going 2x2, which is what the action we were focused on. So, yeah, check that out. Going to be a lot of that tonight. Michael McLeod hanging back now. Probably won't get there this time around. I don't know if he's got the DRS activated or not, but we'll see what happens. So Andrew Cole, Michael McLeod, Neil Walker, Oliver Hartley, Raphael Bofill, Carter Stickney, Dan Pagowski, Ian Worrell, Joe Zubovich, Jake Ashe, Rusty Ponberg, Barry Stockdale, and Nick Tullo are your field for tonight. Some great driving. And we've got Dan Pagowski off in the grass. Not 100% sure what happened there. Let's go back and take a look. Looks like he may have gotten some help there from 246 of Ian Worrell. Missing a wheel. Gonna be tough. Get back on the track at that point. Andrew Cole, Michael McLeod absolutely flying through that first sector, just leaving second and third place there in the dust. But oh, there it is. There's the touch. And that's going to be it. Neil Walker, I wonder, yep, he's just going to take the tow back to the pits there. That is probably going to end his competitive hopes for tonight. That is a tough one. Try to look at that one more time, although Michael McLeod looks like he is ready to make a move. A little bit of netcode there, maybe. I mean, they were close, but those cars were reacting very oddly. So I guess we'll get their perspective. But Michael McLeod's going to send it to the inside there. It's a very similar move to what Andrew Cole made on him. This is going to be a fantastic battle to watch. I hope that they make very similar times through pit road for their mandatory pit stop based on the fuel. But this is a lot of fun to watch these two guys go at it. And Oliver Harley off track. So, oh my, he was already missing a wheel. I wonder if that was a result of the earlier contact. Sorry. I don't know. Looks fine there. Don't normally like to just watch replays, but this is intriguing. His wheel just falls off. It is a very delayed reaction from that contact with Neil Walker. Not 100% sure what that's all about. Okay. All right, iRacing, I see you. And then he does a pretty dang good job of holding on to it, considering, although I wonder if he's seeing what we're seeing, the fact that he's missing his entire right front. Who knows? But made it to pit road, got his fast repair, and there you go. That's where we're at. Michael McLeod leads the field. Andrew Cole right on his tail. They have quite the gap now back to Rafael Bofill in third, looking at his, I believe, first podium potential position. At least it's still a long race. We got a lot of laps left to go, including a pit stop, so anything can happen, but sitting pretty right now with about a 2.4 second gap back to fourth place of Carter Stickney. And this is some great racing here. Joe Zubovich in the 11 car, they were side by side for a moment there. Rusty Pottenberg. Oh, who is that? Holy cow, is that Barry Stockdale? Nope, we are out of frame. We will go back and look at that. That looked real nasty. That's Rusty Pottenberg in the Willy Wonka Gobstoppers. Number 10, Joe Zubovich, Jake Ashe, though, right in the hunt here. This is going to be very interesting. See, this section of track just is going to be... Oh, Jake's going to send him 3 wide. He's going to be in the grass. Oh, man, he's going to think better of it and hang back. Holy cow. The 3 cars here. This is the battle for 5th, and it is fantastic. I am loving this. as we ride along board with Rusty Puntenberg. Jake and Joe going wheel to wheel down the stretch. And what is Rusty going to do? Is he going to hang back? Is he going to press his luck? No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. And then you can see after all that drafting, you got to really lay on the brakes and make your way through that chicane. So when we get 40 plus cars on the grid here for the next race, expect nothing short of amazing things. Check this out. Nick Tullo off the track early. We're right on board with him. He's got this battle for 5th just square in view. He's catching right back up. Rocking the John Player Special. So this has now become a 4-car battle for 5th spot. You can look at the gaps throughout the rest of the field, and you can see this is about as good a racing as we're going to have right now throughout the grid. And holy cow, 3 wide with Nick looking on. And we got a great view here from the Cav-OK chopper. Rusty's gonna let it out. Joe really just snaking his way through there. Oh man. And that's the thing. You can make a good move and or get lucky, whatever, through there, but you can't then relax once you you gotta focus now on working your way through Sector 1, and then you have to worry about the fact that, well, guess what? We're all in the draft, and we're just going to catch right back up, and I realize we have not. I had the track map up there for everybody. So once again, this is the 11 car of Joe Zubovich, 77 of Jake Ashe, the 10 of Rusty Puntenberg, and the 181 of Nick Tullo, all in a line. And just doing a fantastic job. And as I'm talking, I said that was the closest racing going on. Look at Andrew Cole closing the gap now. All of a sudden, he was a second back just, I don't know, half a lap ago. So I don't know if Michael McLeod made a mistake or if Andrew just really turned on the afterburners there for a second. But we have now a battle for the lead that is getting really interesting. We'll check back in here, though. I mean, this is, I don't know, I cannot watch this battle for 5th here. Great wheel-to-wheel action and really making the most of that draft effect that the Skippy has. And I'll tell you what, the fact that these guys haven't run into each other is just a testament to the practice they put in, the respect they have for one another. And it's just awesome to watch. Although they are getting just a little spread out now. You can see here Nick and Rusty having a fantastic wheel-to-wheel session for a little bit. And as you can see, the track limits for Road Atlanta, at least in most parts, are a little more forgiving than, I don't know, Bahrain. But don't ask Max Verstappen about that. I don't think we penalize people for making moves here with ambiguous track limit rules, but what do I know? And once again, the leaders, this is on board with Andrew Cole. And you know what? I'll do you one better. Let's take a look back from Michael McLeod's position. It's like riding in the remember the old station wagons, and then you had the seats that face backwards there in the back. This always reminds me of this view right here. Makes me very nostalgic. So Andrew Cole is just kind of hanging back right now, and looks like Michael McLeod's going to work his way back out to solid lead once again. Let's take a look back here. We've got some more great racing. I mean, these guys just keep finding each other. These four drivers here. I think that it's going to have to come down to pit stop strategy slash execution to separate themselves, because at the moment they're just kind of locked in. I mean, they can make passes on one another for the time being, but you know, it's all short-lived because they can just draft back up and make contact once again. So I mean, it's great television, but at the end of the day, they're going to have to do something to separate themselves from the pack. And I don't see anything other than pit stop strategy and execution to do that. Because they seem like, I mean, I see a gap right now, but I don't know how long that you can hold that for. Case in point, you know, Andrew Cole keeps dropping back. He gets back to about a second, but that's still within drafting range of the Skip Barber Formula 2000. So once again on that straightaway, he just kind of catches back up. So this is the battle for the podium spot. We have not talked much about Raphael Bofill or Carter Stickney, but these two drivers kind of in between the lead pack and that pack of four that we've been watching, and they are actually now made contact with one another, and this is going to be the battle for the final podium spot, which you always want to, I mean, that's something to hang your hat on for sure. Carter Stickney's going to look to the inside, see if Raphael gives him the space. He does. But he's just going to stick right with him. Oh, just a little bit wide. Not too bad, though. Very Jake Ashe-esque there, able to maintain control of the car. Oh, look at that. Great line. So he's going to, looks like Raphael's going to be in prime position when it comes time for the straightaway there. I should know my track map. I'm sure there's a name to that straightaway. Look that up real quick. What I get. No, apparently not. Yeah. All right, well, whatever. The straightaway. So Joe Zubovich showing some speed tonight and kind of starting to work his way actually away from the rest of this battle and trying to make fifth his own. Jake Ashe looking to the inside of Nick Tullo. Oh no! Nick saves it. Wow. Great car control there. Probably stepped on the brakes just a bit too much. Didn't really see what happened, but able to save it. And no worse for the wear. Still, I think within range here to catch back up and make this interesting again. Back up at the front. Actually, Carter Stickney making the pass there for third position overall is still up front, and not by much, as the lead remains a very close battle between the 15 and the 51. No bonus points for laps led here, so Andrew Cole not necessarily in a bad spot to hang out and try to pick his spot for when to try to pass if he is going to maybe save some fuel if in the draft there. I don't know how much of a factor that will ultimately be, but it could be. Either way, Michael McLeod, your leader. As we tick past 23 minutes, I'm surprised we have not seen pit stops. Well, let's go through the field. There's Michael McLeod. Andrew Cole is in second. Carter Stickney is in third. He's got Raphael Bofil just in his rearview mirrors. That 7 car looming large. And he's going to have his hands full. Joe Zubovich in the 11 with a great showing tonight, up 7 spots right now in that P5 position. Jake Ashe just behind him in the 77. Nick Tullo is trying to catch back up there after a little bit of getting sideways and doing a little bit of drift action. Skip Barber Formula Drift. Rusty Pottenberg a little further back there with Oliver Hartley battling for that 8th position. Mr. Ian Worrell hoping to lock up the final position of that top 10, but we'll see what Barry Stockdale has to say about that as he is trying to hunt Ian down and Pagowski after some early race issues, getting some contact there. Rolling around, down 4 spots total, probably not the night he was looking for. Same with Neil Walker, who is showing as out. And that is your walk through the field as we are approaching the 25-minute mark, about 10.5 minutes remaining. And I'm honestly trying to get confirmation that there is going to be a pit stop tonight, because none of these drivers seem at all concerned with undercutting or trying to do any sort of fuel strategy. So this is the second session of the evening. I wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe a situation where we are not going to be dealing with a fuel stop tonight. But you can see, look at all the way back there. You just barely see the other cars coming into focus up the hill as Michael McLeod and Andrew Cole still doing battle for the lead. And these are those two cars, Carter Stickney, Raphael Bofill. They are about 13 seconds back, almost 14 now. And those tires are nice and warm. So this is the great thing about Road Atlanta in the Skippy. Once those tires get warm, boy, you can throw it around. Andrew Cole looking to the inside of Michael McLeod. Is he going to be able to make it stick with 7 minutes remaining in the race? No, Michael not giving an inch. Andrew gonna try to take it too wide. He is right there. And this is going to get interesting. This is going to be a fantastic race for the lead. We look back from Michael's perspective at Andrew Cole in that 51 machine. The 15, the 51. Could not script that any better. Opposites attract, and here we are. These two very fast drivers. And this is looking back from Raphael Bofill's rear view. You can see Carter Stickney hanging around. And actually, I want to see Raphael making the, yep, there you go. Pass to the inside. I mean, you can't make this up. The move. We're going to see a lot of passing there. That seems to be the place to make it. So, oh boy, you can see Raphael just had to get out of the gas just a little bit there, and that's going to let Carter Stickney fly right by. Although, guess what? We're coming up to the turn. So let's see what Raphael has, and if he's going to try to. Nope. All right, he's going to wait one more lap. We do have 5.5 minutes remaining in the race. We are running 1 minute and 40 second, a little less than that, laps. So just a handful remaining. Things are going to get interesting for sure. This is the closest battle by far. Looks like Michael McLeod able to work himself out to now once again a 0.7 of a second lead. Although we've seen Andrew Cole in this position before. I'm not sure. Like I like to pay more attention. Andrew's been back 7-8 of a second going through sector 3. It seems like every time we check in, and then he just works his way all the way back up to the gearbox of the 15 there. Not 100% sure where. Maybe he's trying moves and they just aren't working, so he's got to regroup. But either way, he's there now, and it does not look like we're gonna need a pit stop tonight, folks. So this is it. This is the battle for the lead. This is the battle for the win. Andrew Cole. Now, Michael McLeod with a very defensive line here, because that's normally where people would want to pass, but Andrew Cole's gonna have the momentum. They're gonna go side by side down through the S's, and that's gonna be Michael McLeod's advantage. So it looks like the okay, I thought I might have spoken too soon. The inside line on that first left-hander seems to be the preferred line, at least in this race. So keep that in mind. Think about what your strategy would be if you were the driver behind, and how you would make that work. Michael McLeod, you could see going down the backstretch there, just maintaining that position, forcing Andrew Cole to go to the outside of that left-hander. Well, at least the initial left-hander. So that'll be interesting how things pan out. But really, for the most part, everybody's kind of spread out. You can see on the track map there, Carter Stickney, you can actually make out the STI and BOF circles now. They've got a little bit of space between them. Jake Ashe is about 23 seconds back from them. Ian Worrell actually working his way up. Joe Zubovich, Nick Tullo, Oliver Hartley, all pitting. Makes me wonder if I missed something. Andrew Cole's going to go to the inside. Okay, so here we go. This is that preferred line. Michael McLeod not taking nearly as defensive as a line. Not as defensive of a line. I can speak good. There we go. But Michael McLeod. Wow, what a great defensive move there. Andrew Cole has his hands full. If he's going to make that pass, he's going to have to do a little more than that and make it stick. I know Andrew Cole and how he can race. So this is super, super impressive stuff from Michael McLeod, because Andrew Cole can kick my butt for sure. So hats off. Much, much respect. And back to that 0.7 of a second as we see Andrew Cole just kind of probably shaking it off, regrouping, and probably 2 to go, if I had to guess. I think we're going to get one more lap in after this. So a little bit of pressure. But honestly, based on what I've seen, I'm going to want to be number 2 going into the last lap. That's just me, though. It looks like the person in the draft has the advantage. Can make the move if you can make it stick. But, okay, yeah, no, Andrew's going to fall back in line here. Now, here's the thing. If Andrew needs to be able to keep it on his gearbox for the remainder of this lap, he's just, wow. Michael McLeod just so much faster through that last section. And we saw it because Andrew made the pass, but Michael just able to make it stick a lot more through that downhill. And that's where he's gaining up to that 7/8 of a second now, almost 1 second, over a second. Oh boy, Andrew Cole a little slow. I think he may be out of the actual draft range now. He's going to have to do something very special here, because I don't know that. Well, we'll see. This is obviously the final lap. It's not showing on the overlay there, but we're clearly past 35 minutes. This will be the final lap. Yeah. He's out of the draft. This is going to be Michael McLeod's race to lose. Michael McLeod has to be perfect. This is the last turn coming down, and it looks like he's going to take the checkered flag for his second Sunday Night Skippy Formula 2 victory. Michael McLeod is your race winner tonight. Congratulations to the 15 machine. Andrew Cole in second. Here comes Carter Stickney down the hill. to fill out your podium. What a great race, up 3 spots for Mr. Stickney. There's Raphael Bofil in 7th. Jake Ashe. Making his way through the S's to try to bring home that top 5. Which he will. And there is Ian Whirl. Up 3 spots in the 6th position. Barry Stockdale is going to bring home 7th. Actually, let's focus in here. So Barry Stockdale, Rusty Pottenberg, not taking anything away from Rusty, Joe Zubovich, and Nick Tullo, 8th, 9th, and 10th. But, no, I'm sorry, Nick Tullo here in the lead of Oliver Hartley. Great battle. Nick Tullo is going to be able to take it away, though, and get that top 10 finish. Oliver Hartley in 11th. And Dan Pegowski caught up in an earlier ace incident, will bring it home 12th. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the cookie crumbles. Let's take a look at your results, and what a great race to watch. These guys always put on a fantastic show as they form up for their sportsmanship formation lap. Michael McLeod, once again, your race winner. Andrew Cole, Carter Stickney will round out your podium. Raphael Bofil, Jake Ashe are your top 5. Ian Whirl, Barry Stockdale, Rusty Pottenberg, Joe Zubovich, and Nick Tullo are your top 10. Oliver Hartley, Dan Pegowski, and Neil Walker will round out your field. And thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to step away for just a few moments and get into the Skippy Formula 1 session. I will put up a timer as soon as I know what time it is starting, and we look forward to seeing you then. And I look forward to having Pete Mulbrotten join me in the booth, which is going to be a great addition. And you don't have to listen to me go on and on and on. So win, win, win for everybody. We will see you in just a few minutes. And we're out. Welcome back, race fans, to Sunday Night Skippy Racing Action here. Season 6. This is going to be a fantastic race. If the Skippy Formula 2 race was any indication, we are here live at Virtual Road Atlanta. And this is going to be the second week of the season. We have a very, very special surprise. Well, I guess it's not a surprise anymore. I think we let the cat out of the bag. But tonight, Pete Mo Broughton will be joining us in the booth for the, I guess, foreseeable future.
Yep, welcome everyone. As I'm sure there has been mentioned, the rumors gotten out of the bag there. So taking the season off and helping out Chris in the booth, and looking forward to what I can bring to the broadcast.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man. You are a wealth of knowledge. You are a fantastic driver in your own right, and have finished well. Constant threat to win all these races. So I'm sure the drivers are kind of double happy that you're there in the booth to shed some light on everything that is going on. Also, they don't have to race you for the win anymore. So I think it's a win-win for everybody involved, especially the folks out there watching from home, all the friends and family. By the way, welcome, and hopefully we can put on a good show for you tonight. Good weather here, a little bit warmer than I guess we're used to, but I mean, it's Georgia, so that's what you get. And we got a great race in store for you tonight. So let's check in real quick with the real-time. Oh, wow. Okay, as I'm doing that, Joshua Dancy jumps to the top, and then Lauren Avery. Okay, I'm just going to stop updating because all these drivers putting down fantastic laps. Jeffrey Decker currently sitting at the top of the board right now with a 136.398. Not to put you on the spot, Pete, but what do you expect to see? Is that going to stand? Is that 136.398 going to stand?
With the drivers that we have on the grid tonight, between Edwin and I don't know if we have Perez in the session tonight yet. I haven't looked at the entry list. We could very well see, dipping into those 36.1s or 36.2 with a perfect lap.
There you go. So no lead is safe here at Sunday Night Skippy, and Jeffrey Decker is probably happy right now, but still out there probably trying to put down an even faster lap as we talk about it. Let's check in with the 13 car here. We'll just watch him try to set down a 136.2, hopefully. So we got Team Bell checking in. It's Gamer Sarah. And thank you very much for always watching. We will try to check in with Scott. I see that he is streaming his VR headset tonight, so we always appreciate that and like the perspective that Scott always gives us from the pack there. And thanks for joining us. I don't know. Based on what I saw from the Skippy Formula 2 race, I think that I'm expecting a knockdown, drag-out fight, Pete. I gotta say, I have not raced here in the Skippy myself. It's only GT3s. But it seemed like if you can even maintain within, 1 second or so down that backstretch, you're still in the fight. And if you, at least in the Formula 2 race, if you got that inside line going into the left-hand turn at the chicane, you were golden. Is that what you expect to see going forward, or was that kind of an anomaly?
So I love Road Atlanta because there are side-by-side battling opportunities, all over the track. Other than, that little squiggly section through the S's after the T3 exit, you will lose a lot of time going side-by-side there. But the rest of the track offers a lot of opportunities to think tactically or strategically. A lot of fuel saving on the back stretch, and with the caliber of drivers that we have in the top 10, even top 20 or more this season, you can make that inside or outside line work into that chicane. In fact, I think we saw a little bit of that catching the end of the SF2 race myself. I believe that was, let me pull that up. I believe that was McLeod and Cole had demonstrated that the inside or outside can work, right? If you're brave enough to make it stick around the outside into the left part of that chicane, it's possible to maintain enough overlap to own the apex on the final corner, and that puts you in a really good spot to be able to attack in a T1. So it'll be interesting to see who picks the more aggressive lines and who hangs back and tries to play the fuel strategy game.
Very good. We've got a final result here for the grid, and Jeffrey Decker. I mean, I gotta say,
give me just a second here for some housekeeping items.
I guess we'll listen into the driver briefing here really quick. Or not. Well, we'll wait on that. Jeffrey Decker and Peter Nodwell are going to be your starting row for tonight. I believe that is a first. That is so great to see. I mean, holy cow, beating the likes of past champions Edwin and Chris Herrera, but Lauren Avery up there as well. Look at that. He's up in 4th spot. This is... I mean, this starting grid here is just fantastic. I love to see this. We've got Edwin Virino, Max Giacomo, Joshua Dancy, Eric Lamro, Aaron Law, and Adam Wright rounding out your top 10. But look at that. Team Bell in the house on the front screen there, starting 11th, which I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I've seen him up there on the top screen before. Very fast driver, but this is a very stiff field of competition. So we'll scroll through this grid here real quick and see the rest of the drivers. We do have 41 drivers on the field tonight, so no disrespect to anyone in particular. I just want to scroll through that so we can get everybody taken care of.
Yeah, now it will be interesting to see what happens with the mid-pack. Even with these qualifying times so close, there's such a huge discrepancy in pace and driver technique on cold tires versus warm tires that we may see some of these guys from the mid-pack start pushing towards the front as they hit their comfort zone when the tires come in. So I imagine it'll be pretty action-packed, that midfield, as we find out who's maybe just lacking a little bit of quality pace, but is hungry to move up as they get more comfortable.
I'm looking through the field here, and I just don't see any particular point of the field where I'm just like, oh, this is... that could be boring. Like every single battle that I'm looking throughout the field here, and we saw the Skippy Formula 2 drivers put on a great show, a lot of respect, a lot of precision with their cars, and they're sprinkled throughout the field as well. So you got to imagine that the guys who didn't participate in that race are at least of that caliber of driver. And I'll tell you what, I don't know that I've been this excited for a race before. I mean, other than Bathurst, maybe, I think I was looking forward to a ton. But just looking at how this field is just so mixed up from a historical qualifying perspective, this is going to be a fantastic show. I mean, I don't know, Carl put down a lap or not, but, Connor Tolman in the back there, Jeremy Grandin. Did people not put down laps? I'm not sure what the heck's going on there, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see.
Talking? We don't hear anything.
No, Jason's doing some admin stuff.
I was just checking the black flags to see if maybe that could explain some of the folks that didn't put in a quali, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So it could be that the drivers were a little over ambitious. I've definitely picked up some off tracks, cutting that chicane just a little too aggressively around the exit of the final corner. Happens a lot. In fact, my last few races, I had lost my final lap 3 weeks in a row, just getting a little too ambitious, dirtying that last lap, the money lap. And, we'll see if that's what happened with some of our quicker drivers.
On league mentality and our expectation of conduct. When we talk about league mentality, there's a lot more to it than just being a nice guy. On the track, you need to bring a level of preparedness, shared respect, and patience that is commensurate with the time put in to be ready for this race by you and your fellow league members. Any behavior that would not be survivable week in and week out on a real track is not welcome here. You must prioritize other drivers. Drivers often seem conflicted here in two situations: when a driver loses control and when drivers almost have overlap into a corner. If you lose full control of your car, you have to lock your brakes. Don't touch the throttle. Attempting to save it when any traffic is behind you or around you tends to create more problems than it solves. If you do not lock your brakes, you will be at fault for any incidents created by your car's trajectory, even if you have the best of intentions. Dive bombs. We don't do them. When attempting an overtake into a corner, wheels have to overlap with wheels. If an overtaking car doesn't have that overlap, they have to back out. If there is no overlap at the moment the driver turns in, they have every right to shut the door. Expectations on added risk. All corners in Sunday Night Skippy are contestable. We do not have no passing zones. We do take risk into account when investigating incidents and deducting safety points. The more risk a driver contributes to a situation, the greater our expectation that their moves are executed safely and with precision. Black flags. Black flags must be served within the first 3 laps, but only after you've crossed the finish line at least once. In other words, if your grid position enables you to go directly into the pits, this will not count as serving your penalty. You have to go across the start-finish line at the green flag. If you receive a drive-through, be sure that you don't stop in your pit stall. If you received a stop and go, you do need to stop in your pit stall. Last week, we had several incidents caused on the opening lap by cars that had pending black flags to serve from the prior race. This is not good. Incidents caused by a driver with a pending black flag are subject to additional measures at officials' discretion. That is all. Good luck, everybody. Have fun. Are there any questions? Andrew, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was just going to say blue flags, but no worries.
Yeah, blue flags are instructional, not informational. So, yeah, if you get a blue flag, you've got to be out of the way within the second corner complex after contact is made.
All right. Well, that looks like that's going to be the drivers' meeting. Everybody is clear on the rules and regulations. Look at that grid. This is going to be a fantastic race. I think that I did right by pouring myself a little bourbon for the evening, because we've got 41 drivers taking the field here at Road Atlanta. What is the thinking going in with the cold tires? Because I'll tell you what, Pete, I mentioned this in the Skippy Formula 2 broadcast. I tried to join the Wednesday practice. I know Road Atlanta, but I tried it for the first time in the Skippy here. And as I'm talking here, we're actually about to go green. So, cold tires, quick thoughts.
So even this is one of my favorite tracks, one of my favorite combinations, but I'm not trying to, win any major awards lap one. That's coming up on the section right here into that T3 exit. It's just too sketchy. Leave myself some margin. We've already got some action.
Oh boy.
Going on to that T2 there. Looks pretty messy.
Oh boy. All sorts of cars off the road there. Chris Herrera involved. He was up top. Holy cow. Let's check back in with the leaders. We'll try to go back there. Look at Jeffrey Decker. 2.8 seconds.
Yeah, Jeffrey was definitely the lottery winner on that one. It looks like it's fairly well bunched up behind that. Of course, we've got quite a few folks in the pit. I'm counting 7 folks in the pit and a few more that got knocked back. But Jeffrey was definitely the big winner there.
Looks like Adam Wright also back to the pits. I mean, holy cow, I don't even know. We need to Thomas Photos off. Oh man. Sammy Bridges has crashed. So just like that, we're spread out. So my there goes my theory.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about with that lap one. You really have to be cautious here because it's so different on the cold tires versus the warm tires, and we saw more issues with people struggling with car control in the T6 and T7, where on warm tires they're easy peasy, but on cold tires too wide, it's a high risk zone to try to actually make any progress on lap one. I usually go in with that mindset of just survival, find the pace. Make your moves on that final straight, but be very cautious through those first two sectors. And it looks like some folks opted for, let's say, a more aggressive strategy, and turned us into a dynamic race.
Well put. We've got about a quarter of the field, a little less than that, but I was trying to eyeball it on my overlay there. Ended up in pit road after lap one, and that is not counting the black flag penalty servers that we were talking about earlier. So clearly well over a quarter of the field in pit road before we even take the first lap here. Jeffrey Decker out front, and he's got some company though. We got organization here. Joshua Dancy is being joined by Edwin Villarino, Aaron Law, Eric Lamoureux, Justin Rubello, and it looks like these guys are going to trying to track Jeffrey down. Thorotolo, Scott Bell, Sean Trediak, and Andrew Cole will round out your top 10. But look at this battle for the 10th position. We've got Andrew Cole getting past on the outside there. Oh, and Scott Bell making a... Oh, no, that's Sean Trediak making the move on Scott Bell. And we've got moves being made just behind them. Those S's, I'll tell you what, all the moves that I've seen being made are just crazy. And Michael McLeod obviously tracking this better than I am. Here is your gap. And I also need to bring up the track map. And let's bring up some battle boxes while we're at it.
Oh, it looks like Nelson's getting a little out of shape there. Had a huge tank slapper coming through the S's out of that T3. Managed to gather it up, keep it on track, but he's breaking up that group a little bit. I'd be curious to see what sort of impact that has if there's separation in the draft.
I'm getting word Thomas Photos, Gurkin Demir, and Oliver Hartley have crashed. I see Ian Worrell in the pits as well. I'm not sure what happened there. He's on his way back out. Carl Dronke's off track. I'll tell you what. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. Here's Aaron Law now taking the lead of the second pack away from Joshua Dancy. Aaron Law leading the train to go track down Jeffrey Decker. Just absolutely fantastic racing here. So after the initial shenanigans, we'll call it, some great pack racing shaping out for us tonight. I see JR Hoops off track. And it looks like he will tow back to the pits.
We definitely have a few tight packs running out throughout the field, even in the midfield. Around Jason Bice Herrera working the way back up through the field. That's a 5-car pack. And up front, if I'm Decker, yes, there's a 4-second gap, but there's 34 minutes left in the race, right? And there's a couple of folks in there, Edwin Villarino, Justin Rubello. When I see them in a strong second pack, and we've got a leader a few seconds out who's being hung out to dry, they have no draft, they're going to lose a few seconds in pits. Edwin and Justin are the kind of folks that you see as allies. Right? They will work to bring up the speed of the whole pack, and Jeffrey knows that. So he's going to be watching those gaps like a hawk. Even as I say that, they've already stripped a couple of tenths off the lead. from just a few seconds ago. So it will be curious to see how well this pack works together, and that will determine just how safe Jeffrey is up there, especially after the pit interval, where Edwin, Justin, Eric Lemereau are all tucking in behind Aaron Law and Joshua Dancy, saving a lot of fuel that Jeffrey's not going to be able to get. That can be up to a couple of seconds in these one-stoppers with longer stint intervals.
So, in your, this may be a silly question, but if you're in this field right now, where would you want to be? Do you want to be in Jeffrey Decker's seat, or
I want to be right by Edwin.
right by Edwin? That's a good call.
So Jeffrey is not safe. It may look like it with that 4-second gap, but again, that's only with 32 minutes to go. That's a few tenths per lap. If this group as a collective can use the draft and slingshot each other, track Jeffrey down, and then when it comes to the pits, Jeffrey has no choice but to lose. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a full second or very nearly a full second, because he has to run in clean air all by himself. The only traffic he's going to be able to run into to use for fuel saving is going to be back markers. And we all know that can be a risky proposition.
Well, as we're talking about it there, you can see Edwin having to check up, being a little bit faster, but ultimately ending up costing him a spot there to 78 of Eric Lamereau. Justin Rubello hanging on to the back of that pack, and we do have more great racing going on throughout the field. There is the 888 of Kyle Reed leading the pack of Steve Dewar, Andrew Cole, Nelson Addison, Jeff Torbeck, and I guess we would call that a group. Just behind them, though, Jeremy Grandin, who has worked himself up 22 spots so far, dragging Dan Pagowski with him. Great to see Pim Luth not too far behind him, in front of the aforementioned Jason Bice, Chris Herrera, trying to work their way back up to the, in striking distance of the leaders there. To your point, this is going to be a one pit stop race, correct?
That is correct.
So you've got one chance at this to do it. If you're Jason Bice, Chris Herrera, are you thinking undercut, overcut? Like what's your thought being mid-pack at the moment? And let's see, how far back are they? 22 seconds. What's your strategy to try to cut that down?
Sure. So they're working really well together. Jason and Chris, at least in the first half of the race, tend to be very cooperative. The second half is
Right.
can be a little hazier. But for that first half, they both know what they need to do, right? At this point, they're going to operate more or less as teammates. The same thing that I was talking about in that lead pack when you get near Edwin or Justin or someone like that. They know there's work to be done to reel folks in. So so long as the track conditions stay favorable as far as traffic, we're not getting slowed down by a lot of back markers, I would stay out as long as I can, because this is your best chance with a twosome that's very cooperative to make up some ground.
Well, we've already seen right ahead of them Andrew Cole do some really good work in the Skippy Formula 2 race. Dan Pagowski was unfortunately taken out early, but I do think he does have some pace here.
Herrera just ducked into the pits. I don't understand what happened there. If he had a flake he had to serve, or something else went wrong, he had some damage. It's, I think, too early for the interval.
Yeah, I mean, we're only a quarter of the way through the race. I don't see anything particularly wrong with the car.
On my left.
Interesting. Well, Jeffrey Decker continues to lead now by 4 seconds. Aaron Law in second place there, dragging along Joshua Dancy, Eric Lamereau, Edwin Virino, and Justin Rubello. Let's see. Do we have any other good racing throughout? Yeah. Let's check out Adam Wright, who at some point I would love to go back and check out the replay of the first lap, but I think we could probably spend a whole evening looking at all of the shenanigans that happened on that. That's Zapruder film level analysis that we can do, but For the meantime, Adam Wright down 17 spots, trying to work his way back up. Joshua Fitch Johnson, great drafting partner to have as they try to work their way back up through the field. Jason Bice making a move to the inside. Holy cow.
We had some 3-wide battling going on with the grouping with Daniel Pagowski and Jason making his way through. That was an aggressive move, let's say.
Jason on a mission. He wants that next spot. That next spot is Jeremy Grandin, fellow nutmegger Jeremy Grandin, up 23 spots right now in the 14th position. And tell you what, if he can catch up to them, look at that leapfrog. If he can, he's got Jeff Torbeck, Kyle Reed, Nelson Addison, Steve Dewar, all these guys right in the pack. So getting that draft and you're in good position. These are all fine drivers in their own right. And look at that, a little bit ahead here. Oh, I thought Nelson Addison was going to go to the inside. Steve Dewar doing a fantastic job right now in the 10th spot, up 7 positions. Kyle Reed up 15. So all these guys making the most of what was a crazy beginning to the race and making it work for them. Here we go. So this is what I'm used to seeing. This is what we saw in the Skid Formula 2 race. Go to the inside, and you can see it up ahead of them too with Oliver Hartley. It just, and we've got spinning action. That's Kyle Reed going backwards now the wrong way. If he can get that ship righted. He's basically that tanker in the Suez Canal, so he's just gonna opt to tow instead.
Yeah, that looks like, unfortunately, he had a little bit of help from behind on that one. With this new damage model, that can be the end of your gearbox or, disconnect an axle or a differential. It's unfortunate turn of events for Kyle.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle, again, I need to take better notes on all this stuff, but Kyle has had very unfortunate luck the past couple of races, at least 2 of the 3. So hope for better for him in the future, but obviously got a very fast car, and I don't think the new damage model is doing anybody any favors. So that's up for discussion, what people think about that. I'm in the boat.
I see Herrera has just left the session. I don't know what happened there. His pit stop seemed like he wasn't serving a penalty. I think it was like a 10-second and some change pit stop. But he has left. Oh, it looks like he lost it a second time, coming into T5, and had some significant damage with the ball, and that is the end of his night.
Oh boy, he just turned hard right into the wall. Holy cow.
I almost wonder if that's an equipment failure.
Yeah.
It's a very strange snap to the right, and Herrera's, his car control is excellent. I can't see that kind of error, especially with these, since they've resurfaced with the new curbing. There's really nothing that jumps up and grabs your car, like the original version. So my money, if I had to bet, is something happened with the equipment.
Yeah, Mike Bowers agrees. That is that seems super indicative of technical difficulties. Man, I hate it for him. You hate it for anybody. So that you don't want your equipment to fail and be the reason that you struggle. But I guess welcome to Williams F1. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That is.
Yeah, I'll say I'm having a lot more acute sense of empathy for him now that I'm not battling him in the championship. That is that is a heartbreaker.
All right, there you go. I was gonna say that is very high praise for Chris Herrera coming from you, but yeah, I'm sure the perspective is slightly different when you're not locked in an epic battle. But yeah, you don't want anybody when you win, you want it to be, or I get, when you want it to be on racing terms, not because somebody's wheel or VR headset or monitor or whatever failed. That's never fun for.
And we are seeing right now Steve Durr and Nelson Addison in a fantastic battle, going side by side, corner after corner. These guys are really letting it go.
I will tune into that right now because I cannot believe that I was missing out on that. Jeffrey Decker out to a 5.4 second lead, and I gotta tell you, this seems like his race to lose.
Yeah, no, if I'm sitting in that second pack, at this point, we're saying, okay, the collaboration, the mechanics just aren't quite there, even if the willingness is. We're probably not going to reel them in on pace, so I'm trying to save as much fuel as possible. But 5 seconds is a lot of fuel, right? You need perfect fuel saving and then a lot of luck from the back markers. We'll see how it works out. But at this point, barring some unfortunate luck with traffic, Decker's definitely sitting in a good spot here.
So we're getting word from Mike Bowers that Eric Lamoureux is fast here. Clearly, he means our fellow Canuck, Eric Lamoureux, and he is leading the pack to chase down Jeffrey Decker. So I'll say this. We are not even halfway through the race, so plenty of miles to go. According to Mike Bowers, if anybody's up to the task to chase Jeffrey Decker down,
Thank
it's
you.
Eric Lamoureux.
Yeah, between Eric and Edwin, these are guys that I've had many, many races with. I haven't been on track with Eric for a while, but last year or so, he was a common fixture in the Skippy official races. He definitely has the pace and, more importantly, the patience. So if anyone's going to be able to make it work, I'd put Edwin and Eric together in the draft pack. That's someone I'd be comfortable. We'll see what they can do with it.
What you're looking at right now is basically the Eric Edwin sandwich. You got Eric and Edwin with the meat of Joshua Dancy, Aaron Law, Justin Rebello, and I wouldn't bet against any of those drivers any given week for sure. Let's check in real quick with Scott Bell. I know we've got some Team Bell fans in the house, and I want to make sure that we get them their just due because we appreciate what you do. I lost Peter Lee for some reason, but there you go. There's Scott Bell's perspective as he goes to the outside. Which is always tough there of the 74. That's Thor Tolo.
Looks like we are starting to see people take their pit cycle, so it'll start to be interesting to see, who was hanging back and saving fuel, who was working with their partners effectively, and who got hung out to dry.
We'll bring up the pit stops there so everybody can see who has made stops and who has not. Look at that. Oh, man, Scott working that wheel. Such great racing. Sean Trediak and Scott Bell, two very, very capable drivers. Oh, man. Scott going with the pass in the grass. Dale Earnhardt. Scott Bell going Dale Earnhardt on us, doing the pass in the grass, and able to pass Sean Trediak, which is no small feat. Really good stuff there. Holy cow.
Now that's one of those situations where when somebody is being that insistent through Sector 1, Sector 2, with those S's where it can get really tight and lose a lot of time, you only have to think, how much do I want this position before a pit stop, right? Maybe it's worth getting the gap, but, appreciate the show.
Exactly. That was, boy, you can't beat that. But look at that. Sean Trediak coming back. He's sending it to the inside. Just such great racing to watch. Man, these guys put on a show. Love it. All right. Thank you, Scott, for sharing the feed with us. We will check back in for sure. All right, what do we got? What's the action here? Jeffrey Decker out to 5.8 second lead. Eric Lamoureux still leading a fantastic group led by Joshua Dancy, Aaron Law, and Edwin Viorino. Sean Trediak is 14 seconds back, leading the pack that we were just watching there with Scott Bell and Thor Tullo. Jeremy Grandin is about 2 seconds back from that, up 28 spots now, just absolutely crushing it, going through the field. Steve Dewar hot on his tail, still in P10, up 7 spots. And not too far back from them is Andrew Cole, now kind of just out there cruising on his own. And after a great showing in the Skippy Formula 2 race, looking to hopefully maintain, if not gain, on that P11 spot. So, yeah, there's some great races going on here. This is Nelson Addison. I'm sorry, David Cow is leading this pack of Nelson Addison, Jason Weiss. I got my overlay mixed up a little bit there.
I'm a little bit slow for the last part of the lane.
Now, if you're Jason in this pack and you've already made your pit, I'm curious what's going through his mind right now, because these guys are, looking for the pit entry, trying to save that last bit of fuel, get their sequencing right coming into the pit entry. But on the other hand, Jason doesn't have any time left, right? There is no more time for strategy. You kind of just have to go into full attack mode. So as they're going, too wide into the chicane here, you really have to decide, how aggressive do you need to be? What makes sense here? What's going to lose you time?
So it looks like both him and, oh geez, they're gonna go 3 wide into the SS.
I guess that's my answer.
Oh man.
And sure enough, we did see David Cow peel off into the pits.
There you go. So Jason Weiss is now leading that pack, and he's like, "Yep, I'm out." But Nelson Addison is okay. Yeah, well, shoot, let's go.
Pitching.
All right, so we've got 24 minutes into our 40-minute race.
Oh, your side, Jeffrey.
I want to check back in here with Jeremy Grandin and Steve Dewar, who are side by side now. Steve Dewar having caught Jeremy Grandin. These guys have not pit yet, so they still need to do that. But Steve showing some aggression, which is not, I don't want to say not what we're used to, but, Steve has earned the nickname Mr. Consistency, Mr. Safety, and he's just putting it down tonight. Really great showing.
I would look for Steve to be more aggressive this season, and we started to see something wake up. As far as being willing to go on the offense, I'd say about a third of the way through last season, I started noticing him when I'd get close. If coming up through an undercut or something like that, trying to get around him, he does not make it easy, right? He's definitely fighting for those positions, getting a little hungrier. I would expect to see more of that from Steve this season.
And he certainly has the capability and respect among the field to be able to do that. So he's earned his spot, earned his stripes, and look forward to seeing what he comes out with today. Edwin Viorino now leading the field, not having pit yet. He is the last one who has not pit. 25 seconds is the gap back to Jeffrey Decker, who was will be the presumptive leader on the field once the pit stops are complete.
Now that said, what I'm seeing for the pit stop intervals is somewhere between 15 and 17 seconds for most of the field. Edwin has 25 to work with. If he absolutely nails that pit entry and exit, this could be close.
Thomas Photo's checking in and saying that the new damage model is interesting. He got barely tapped, and and now he's chatting with us on the stream, which we appreciate, but certainly not where he wants to be, I'm sure. New damage model. These cars are very, very delicate. So I don't know what you're gonna do about that, but it is what it is. Here comes Edwin Viorino down the pit road. As he pulls in, let's check in with the, I guess, former leader, Jeffrey Decker. He's going to come across the start-finish line. Oh, boy. Yeah, Edwin's still in the pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like Edwin only was able to pick up about 0.7 on Jeffrey in the pit.
Oh.
Not quite enough.
Yeah, you think about the pit strategy and being able to take less time because you're filling up less with fuel, but boy, yeah, that's tough. I mean, you got to have the right software, you got to have the right know-how, and I mean, Jeffrey Decker is super fast, so you got to be on your A game. This is now a 6-second lead for Jeffrey Decker.
Yeah,
Unreal.
Jeffrey's definitely going to be pretty difficult to catch unless there's some major issues with back markers at this point. Now I'd say the chase is really looking at Edwin and Dancy. Right? Only about a second and a half back from that second pack with Rebello and Limerick. I'd be curious to see if we see enough cooperation to reel in Edwin. He's another one who's no slouch to try and catch here, but it's doable. Again, we have about 12 minutes left. You really only need to get within 1 second on that back straight to successfully reel him in. It's possible. We'll see what happens.
Well, as we're talking, Justin Rebello made the pass there in the S's, and he said, "You know what? I'm going to lead the pack. Let's go catch Edwin." And those three, we'll see what they can do a little further back, though. Jason Bice, look at this pack that Jason Bice is leading. Holy cow. And our Team Bell fan club in the house for this, and rightly so. Steve Dewar there. I mean, all these drivers we were talking about, right?
Yeah, this is that mid-pack excitement that we were looking at. Yeah, there was a few seconds, spreading the entire field, but the intervals between cars, I think the largest I saw for qualifying was only 3/10. So this doesn't surprise me at all to see these big packs having huge battles all the way around the track.
We've got a Justin Rebello fan in the house. Naomi thinks we are rooting for the 79 car here. He is right there. Boy, if he could sneak away with a podium, that would be fantastic. But I tell you what, top 5, top 10, so awesome.
Yeah, and we do see some good cooperation there. Now, Rebello could have made that difficult on Law, but it looks like he went ahead and facilitated that pass for the greater good, try to keep up the speed of that overall pack. And we did see a little bit of a slowdown. It looks like Ian Worrell got caught in the S's by Joshua and Edwin. Took a little bit out of their lead. So if we get a few more incidents like that, we could be grouping up for that P2 spot again.
Well, I'll tell you what, this battle for this 7th spot is probably some of the best racing action I've seen in quite a while. Steve Dewar making the pass. Scott Bell really trying to lead that pack, but when you're racing Jason Bice, you gotta be just 100% accurate and precise. That's gonna let Steve Dewar by, which is silly to say. Steve Dewar's gonna pass you 10 out of 10 times if you leave the door open. Jason Bice going, oh boy, just a little wide there. We'll see if that has any effect on him, but man alive, this battle for 7th is, I don't know, just fantastic. Great to watch. I want to watch something else. Let's watch Edwin Viorino trying to get past Joshua Dancy here for that 2nd position. He's going to have the inside spot. So now, 7.5 seconds. You've got 8.5, well, just shy of 8.5 minutes. Do you think Edwin can do it? Or do you think this is Jeffrey Decker's race to lose?
At this point, the only thing that's going to bring Decker back into striking distance is going to be, a serious issue with back markers, where he has to slow down and pull over in the S's or something like that. Short of a fueling issue, I don't see it. I am a little surprised that his stop only came in at 15.2 seconds, and he's been driving on his own whole race. We've got a lot of folks that have been sitting in draft with similar pit times, so he may well be cutting it close.
Edwin's starting to cut into the lead just a little bit. Let's look at the sectors here. Oh, that's not going to help. There we go. Edwin faster by nearly 3/10 through sector 2, but slower. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of evening out a little bit. 7.4 seconds is the gap. 7.4 as we go through lap 20.
Now, what's interesting with that is, even though that last lap was such a heater, getting into that, breaking into the 35s pretty handily, if you look at their average 3 laps, Decker only 1/10 up, even with that, that big fastest lap there. So average speeds, they're very close, with Decker running his averages at 36.22 and Edwin sitting at 36.17. So it's really only, less than a tenth between them on their average pace.
Well, Jeffrey, having a pretty clear track now that he's gotten around. Jason Berkheimer, he's got about, quite a while until he catches up to Adam Wright. Adam Wright very fast, so clearly he was involved in something earlier. I don't expect that to be an issue. Edwin Viorino now losing ground on Jeffrey Decker through sectors 1 and 2 of this lap. Tell you what, I don't know that I could stand the pressure. Let's look back a little further, though, because this battle is heating up here for the 4th position. I called a battle for Canada's soul at some point last season, but I'll tell you what, we've got Eric Lamoureux, Aaron Law, Justin Rebello, all 3 of them trying to get that 4th position, and they are just nose to tail for it. So awesome to see just ahead of them Edwin Viorino and Joshua Dancy. This racing is just so fun to watch.
Yeah, this pack is definitely showing off what makes Road Atlanta such a great track, why it's one of my favorite tracks in North America, especially in these cars, is you can go 2 wide, 3 wide, again, almost anywhere on the track, and these guys are certainly availing themselves of that opportunity. In the SS, they kind of calm down a little bit, and then we see all those gaps and a lot of position changes, all the way down the back straight, through the chicane, through the final corner, into T1. This just makes for great watching and great racing.
Mike Bowers checking in saying Decker and he had a great battle here earlier in the week. Giving him praise that he was super solid and looking really good tonight. So Decker obviously putting in the work, putting in the laps, and it's paying off because he is now out to an 8-second lead over the field, over Edwin Viorino, of all people. So, yeah, Jeffrey Decker showing shades of, geez, I don't even know, man on fire tonight, for sure. We do have some good racing, though. Speaking of this battle for Canada's soul here, great racing back there. Steve Dewar and Scott Bell. Sorry, Jason Bison, Steve Dewar. That's what I meant. Scott Bell just a little bit further back, but I'll tell you what, Jason Bice, Steve Dewar, the two of the original guys that I got into with Sunday Night Skippy Racing and started hanging out with, and I am super excited to see them going side by side. Jason Bice working his way back up through the field, up 14 spots. Very excited to see. Very obviously a fantastic driver, very fast, a coach for the league, and just kind of oftentimes a victim of circumstance with wrecks and stuff. So to see him just kind of put on a show tonight is really great.
Oh, and I just saw that Joshua Fitzjohnson. It looks like he got caught out in that it was that T5 again, and managed to catch himself a little bit damaged. Looks like the car is still on track, but he did lose out to Daniel Pagowski, and seems to have it back on track. Car's moving again.
All right, well, I can't even believe it, but we are ticking down here. We've
trying
got
to catch him.
just Trabello checking in, doing his best to run down the lead pack there. We've got just shy of 2 minutes remaining, so I got to imagine we are 2 laps to go here as...
Yeah, no,
what?
don't
Yeah,
look now,
right.
but we've been watching those gaps with Eric Lemerow chasing down Edwin and Joshua. If they start fighting, Eric has closed it into within a second. So if these maintains that contact going onto the back straight, we have ourselves a 3-way knife fight for P2.
That would be absolutely crazy to watch. Edwin Viorino, Joshua Dancy, and Eric Lamoureux. Let's look at some better angles here. If I can do
Now,
that.
another pack that I've been watching, it looks like Thor Turla and Sean Trediak reeled in Nelson Addison. And I imagine that's not going to end in a friendly manner. So that would be a fun one to watch also as we're going through that final chicane. Finally, expecting a lot of action.
Mike Bowers asking, how's the fuel going? Do you think any of these drivers may be short on fuel?
It's hard to say. With how close the pack was and the opportunities for fuel saving, it's really difficult to tell. I don't see anyone who has, a totally outlandish pit stop time for setting in their stalls. But time will tell. So both Joshua and Edwin Villarino, I've got as about 14 and a half seconds in their stop. So if one of them's gotten issues, maybe they both do, but I'm guessing neither one does.
And as we were talking about that, Joshua Dancy making the pass on Edwin Viorino, showing no fear. Eric Lamoureux just absolutely hanging on to the gearbox there. And Edwin under great stress.
Yeah, now this is one where if you're Edwin or Eric in this situation, this part of the track almost doesn't matter. I'm not even thinking about this, right? I'm thinking about what's my plan for that chicane in final corner. Do I want to stick it in the chicane, or do I want to try to get the run into that final corner and take the roads? Now it looks like Dancy may have enough of a gap here to make it very difficult to go inside. We'll see what sort of a run we get down this back straight, and if Eric and Edwin are in full fight mode, or if they're going to cooperate this one last time. This is the kind of gap that's a little bit uncomfortable. It's a little bit too far away if I'm in that second position, but it all depends on what kind of run we get out of the chicane.
So this is it. Jeffrey Decker coming around the final turns, and we don't want to take anything away from him, but this is side-by-side racing here for that second position. Jeffrey Decker going to take home the victory tonight, his first of the season and series, I believe. And
Dancy was able to stay ahead there. Edwin put on that show, demonstrating how that outside line through the chicane can work. He managed to get the run, hang around the outside of the left-hand corner, but could take the apex on the final corner to be just ahead of the line.
And
Jeffrey,
Jason Bice, Justin
nice.
Rebel, and Steve Dewar coming to
Hey there, guys.
Guys, thank you.
finish line.
Great
They're
race.
doing great.
People
I
still
mean,
racing?
just
Yeah, that was a
really
good win,
great
man.
racing throughout the
Congrats.
field. Our Scott Bell coming home P10. So
drivers
awesome
on
to
the
see.
track.
Nelson Addison, Andrew Cole, and Jeff Torbeck will bring
Good
home
racing,
the
Bell.
top 14. Here comes Pim Luth in 15th position. What a great race. I am so happy that we got to witness that. I mean, what a shakeup.
Now we've still got Adam Wright and Rafael Bofil. Possible run here coming in across the line. Adam could have a good run. I'm just kind of watching him right now coming out of the chicane. So good battles all the way back through the field.
Adam looking for that inside. Is he going to make it stick?
So close.
Just barely. Oh,
Yeah, this is what I was talking
Really,
about
Chef.
with those new curbs going in. In the previous
Yeah,
version
you too, man.
of this track, before they,
What
I
happened
don't
at
think
the
they
end there?
resurfaced. I think they just redid the curbs. If you took that much of that final
I actually
corner,
have no idea. You were 2
you know,
seconds
that
behind
you
me
were
for
going
like
to catch
5
some air,
laps,
right?
and then I looked
so you had
up
to
and
deal with
you
some
were
pogoing
after me.
on the exit, and it was very, very high risk. But now,
I'm just really awesome.
if need be, you know, you can take a
Kidding.
little extra.
I'll tell you what.
I actually dropped back from you.
That
The
was
client called me, and I was
fantastic.
taking a client phone call.
I don't know how to mute these guys. I'm sorry. We don't need to be listening in to literally everything they say. And I'm sure they don't necessarily want all of it broadcast. I apologize for that. But what a great race. Holy cow. Pete, thank you for joining us. Let's check the results here and see who is in for some interviews. Jeffrey Decker, first time winner, bringing home the win, and in amazing form. 9 seconds. Think about that for a second, everybody. Think about the last time you saw a 9-second gap for the win in Sunday Night Skippy. Unreal. Jeffrey Decker just dominating tonight. Joshua Dancy, Edwin Virino bringing home the podium, but just barely, because there's Eric Lamoureux, Aaron Law, Jason Bice, Justin Robello, Steve Dewar, Jamie Grannon, Scott Bell, and let's scroll through the rest for everybody as we get ready to see who's in for an interview or not. What a great race.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a hell of a race for first time trying to be in the booth. There was action all over the place, absolute trial by fire. Very much enjoyed
Yeah.
trying to keep up.
Yeah, you definitely got your seller's worth tonight for sure. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got Jeffrey Decker in the booth, Team El Gato, coach, and now Sunday Night Skippy race winner, and not even by a little bit, just an absolute dominant performance. Holy cow! Talk us through it.
It's absolutely unexpected. I was actually nervous on pole because, I mean, the draft is so big here that first lap you can get swamped by like 3 cars, and then all of a sudden you're chasing. So I saw something happen behind. I couldn't really pay attention to that because 2-3 complex is a rough set of corners on cold tires. But yeah, I mean, I saw like a little bit of a gap at first, and then I kind of just thought like, all right, like head down, hold this as long as possible. These guys are gonna draft back and forth, and next thing you know, they'll be on my bumper. And it just never happened. I don't know why, but yeah, I just, for whatever reason, the track agreed with me today. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked, kind of in shock still, to be honest. But yeah, it feels really good.
I mean, you put on an absolutely dominant performance in a league that is we espouse that it's super competitive, but you made it look silly tonight. Were you putting in extra laps this week? Do you think that it was like, what do you attribute to the fact that you were able to walk away with this? Make not that it was easy, but you made it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think like for whatever reason this track agreed with me from the start of the week. I actually got the least amount of pubs in this week that I have in quite a while because I was practicing for the 12 hour and I'm absolute trash in the LMP2, so I had to put time in there. So yeah, actually maybe the lack of practice was good because I didn't develop any bad habits. I kind of stuck with the good ones I figured out early. But yeah, I don't know. It just yeah, really came together.
Well, Pete, do you got anything for him?
Yeah, I
guess-
can actually. I'm
I'll say
really
that.
excited to see you finally get that win. Like I was saying with, I'm not sure if you caught it yet, but Chris had, looked like some equipment failure earlier. Where I could feel some actual genuine sympathy for him when I'm not on the track competing for a championship. I am thrilled that you got your first win. It's well deserved. Didn't see any errors. Managed traffic well. It's just a solid run all around. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, there are a couple errors in there, but no biggies. It is a little tainted because you weren't in the race, Pete, and neither was Christian. But you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody could take this away from you, man, because it wasn't just that you won. You won with style, and you really executed every little bit that you needed to execute. Maybe the trick is that you don't run as many pubs as you usually do. I don't know. I don't know the answer, or maybe you just maybe this track is just right up your alley. But whatever you're doing, keep it up. I don't know if you're you're on a new diet or you're trying like are you doing yoga now? I don't know. Whatever it is, just keep it up.
It's just chasing the puppy around. I guess that must be it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I don't remember the last time we saw a win by that amount of margin. It's
that was me.
Oh,
that's not surprising.
So you're in fine company. Let's just put it that way.
It wasn't quite as dominant as a Pete performance. Like I didn't lead every lap technically, and I didn't get fastest lap. So I still got some room, some stuff to aim for to get up to Pete's level.
Still, it's got to feel good. And anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
I guess my wife for always letting me do these races and not giving me too much crap about it when it runs over into dinner time. And then anyone watching, you guys as always for putting on an awesome broadcast. It's so much fun to go back and watch. And yeah, congrats to the podium and everyone else who got through the race okay.
Well, it was just awesome watching you, and fantastic win tonight. Man, I don't know. I don't know where you go from here, but good luck. And it was
all downhill from here.
Right. I didn't want to say it. It was awesome seeing you just absolutely dominate tonight. Well deserved. And you're just such a good dude and such a positive force for the league. So it was great seeing you there. And hopefully that you can continue on this trajectory. Congratulations on the win, and we will see you next week.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
That was Jeffrey Decker, winner of the Sunday Night Skippy Formula One race. First time winner. Great to see. Let's bring in Rich Butler, who's in the interview booth and joining us tonight after a, action-packed race. What was your perspective of how everything went down?
Well, first off, I'm going to tell you, I feel like it's a fluke that I got P17 on a Sunday night. So, usually being one of the chicanes back, everybody has to go around. I feel pretty good about a 17. But the first lap was absolutely crazy. The fact that you had to, you basically were, I was going through a cloud of smoke the whole time, just trying to find the right line. So, that was pretty crazy. Other than that, I got behind Jake. I couldn't catch him. He had more pace than me, and it was a good race. Nice and clean. Had a good good pit stops. I believe he outpitted me, so he came out quite a bit ahead of me on just the pit exchange itself. So kudos to him.
Well, I mean, you can't take anything away from how you finish. Uh, Making it through some of the shenanigans is actually part of the deal of finishing well. And I'll
Right.
tell you
You know
what,
that.
I haven't got to race with you guys much of late, but I will say that you're not one, not just one person. So more than one person has told me that you've been finding a lot of pace lately, and so I think that this P17 is well deserved. Up 14 spots total. So yeah, got it. First lap, craziness happens, but at the end of the day, it's a 40-minute race, and you still have to hold that and execute to finish where you're at, even if other people are off the track. So yeah, and I'm getting comments here on the YouTube that you've been improving steadily. So it's not just me. It's not just me who's seeing it.
Yep.
So I wish you the
I
best of
Yeah,
luck.
appreciate
Chris,
it out there, fan club.
Chris, we've been having that chatter. We've been having a little bit of that chatter, and between the coaches too. Over last season, and kind of starting to watch through an SF2s and this sort of thing. Rich, I would say you are what I would call firmly in the fluke me stage, right, where it feels like a fluke, right? Where when your finishing positions start going up, it feels like you're just getting lucky, but it's happening consistently. It's not luck. I'll tell you right now. When you start seeing when you start seeing the actual results, the scoreboard doesn't lie. There's more to it than pace. And really excited to see you in that top 20. Now we know we can do it, so we'll expect more.
Okay, I'm gonna go for it. A big shout out to Jack before I go. He has been my coach. Right off the bat, he fixed like 5 things that I was doing wrong, and
Nice.
right after that, I did a bunch of updates to the rig, and it all came together at the same time. So it's been good. The coaching part of the Skippy League has been a big improvement for I think a lot of us. So thanks for doing it, Pete. That was good to put it on. We enjoy it. I haven't had anybody say anything bad about it yet, so it's all good.
Yeah,
Of course, man.
you're rocking it, man. And we're watching. Sorry, we're watching in slow mo what you were going through in that first lap, and I see what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I think everything else remains the same. You still got to execute, and you did it. Glad that you're attributing it to the coaching that you're getting from the drivers and Sunday Night Skippy and the guys who are putting in the work to help you out. But at the end of the day, you still gotta go out there and drive the car. So well done. Yeah. And by the way, we haven't talked like personally since then, so it's a little late, but happy birthday, right?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got it on the broadcast last week. I'm like, hey, there it is. Yeah. I figured someone
Yeah.
would let the cat out
Yeah.
of the bag.
So for those of you who don't know, Rich Beller and Sean Trediak, brothers-in-law. So yeah, Sean is the little birdie in my ear that tells me all these little details, and it seems like you guys have an awesome relationship, and you both are constantly improving every week. So that's really cool. That's a neat family relationship to have, and
he's the one that got me into it. He said, "Hey man, there's a cool league on. This is called Sunday Night Skippy." I'm like, what is that? And then once you get involved, you get hooked. So I was in.
You're still wondering what the appeal is.
No, I got it now. I'm hooked.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations. Up 14 spots total. Just a great performance for you tonight, and we look forward to seeing more from you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
We'll bring in Andrew Cole next, who we focused on a ton through the Skippy Formula 2, and we also, Andrew, if you have one night that I gotta unmute you. Yeah, if you have one night where you're gonna watch the broadcast, this should be it, because we saw a lot of you tonight, and
I am gonna watch it. That's actually what brought me in here, because I heard you guys on the last lap, and I was like, I just wanted to correct the record.
Correct the record. Okay, all right, here we go.
No, Mike. All credit to Michael. All credit to him. He's just so smooth. I can't believe it was an exciting race because I was like, this is boring. I'm going to wait to the last lap to make my move, and coming into 10 on the second to last lap, I got a slowdown.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I got a 1.5 second slowdown coming through 10A, and I was like, I'm done. It's so frustrating, but the pace was there, and so that's why I was happy about that. But he put on a great race, and I was just like, I just got to keep close with him the entire time, and I hope we put on a good show for everyone.
Well, yeah, you absolutely did. I think we were missing that piece. I mean, we don't have the trackside reporter, unfortunately, checking in with the stewards. So we missed that part of it. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like you were hanging out behind him, though, for a lot of the race. Was that your intention in the Formula 2 race?
Yeah, I mean, this shows you, what I was thinking. It's like I have, what is it, the auto fuel, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't realize until about lap 17, it tells you how many laps of fuel you have left. So the entire time I was like, I have no idea what the fuel situation for this race is. I'm just going to try and save fuel in his draft. And then I looked up at about 3 or 4 laps to go, and it said I had 15 laps of fuel left. I was like, oh. I could do something with this.
Turns out you have a Tesla.
Exactly.
That's
At
funny.
least you're super effective at fuel saving. That's good to know for future reference.
Exactly. Well, I set it at 5 gallons of fuel because Ian didn't put any restrictions on the race, and so I think everybody started with at least 4 to 5 gallons worth of gas, except for like 1 or 2 people. But so I was happy. We were actually putting down those times on like 4 and 5 gallons of fuel. So I was pretty pleased with that.
Yeah.
And Chris and I were discussing that at the beginning of SF1 when we were talking about favored lines into the chicane. I had caught, a few of the last few laps between you and McLeod, and had demonstrated that, yes, either one of those lines absolutely can work. There's some really great side-to-side going on. Love to see that. Definitely saw the pace and the consistency in the SF1 race as well. So looking for more of the same in the rest of the season.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Yeah, for me and he, I believe as well. I'm not going to completely speak for him. Apparently, he's already gone to bed. But he and I were just basically trying to mess with each other for like the last 4 or 5 laps, just to kind of play out how we were going to do the last lap. And then I got the slowdown, and there you go. But I hope you guys enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun to watch. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
The answer to your question is yes. It was good.
I will go back and watch it later. I appreciate it, guys. It's really fun.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. Yeah, because you're early.
Yeah.
You're early.
Yeah, I gotta go fire up the barbecue and get ready for the in-laws for dinner.
There you go. All right. Good luck. We'll see you next week. Yeah.
Bye now.
Andrew Cole joining us in the booth. Here is we're gonna make Joshua Dancy wait just a little bit longer, and I apologize to him, but I'll tell you what, Jake Ashe having his best Sunday Night Skippy finish of this ever is the word that I'm getting, at least. So I want to check in with Jake, up 14 spots to P16 after a very good showing in this Formula 2 race. Jake, what was this race like for you?
It was pretty fun. I mean, I had a good time, but I mostly just focused on distant and get my best laps that I could in. I know I did a little fuel strategy in the middle, and it seemed to work out pretty well. Spent a lot of time running from people and running toward people, but not a whole lot of time fighting with folks. Fortunately, I'm still working on that. But I managed to make it up to what I guess was 17th or 18th coming into the last couple of laps, and then was kind of surprised when I crossed the line at 16th. I'm not sure exactly how the big jump there happened, but been working with Justin a lot on just finding little bits of pace, and it's been helping me out, and so I'm pretty pleased.
Okay, fuel strategy, trickery, and deceit leading to your best finish in SNS ever. I could not be more proud.
Yep,
I was gonna say that sounds familiar.
I mean, I've always been a sort of brains over brawn guy at this point, and fuel strategy lets me do that.
There you go.
Yeah, that was worth mentioning. We had Rich Butler in the booth before you, and he mentioned the pit strategy. He was per him, it's like something happened in the pits and he was gone. Right.
Yep.
So that's the kind of working with the coaches, working with the the pro-am program such as it is. That's the sort of additional depth and sophistication that we really like to see in the drivers, and really well done to you.
Thank you.
You're on your game, consistent, and picked up some position, at least track position on the fuel strategy. Just a great, well-rounded performance. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. And then the SF2 was fun. Just fighting my way from 7th to 6th to 5th to 6th to 7th, and just with those guys, with Joe and Rusty. I'm not sure, but once I was able to break past them, though, I was finally able to break away. And they put up a great fight, though, and it was fun.
Yeah, man, it was clearly. So full disclosure here, Jake and I are on two teams together, actually.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about the second team. So we race ARCA on the same team, and we race Formula 3 on the same team. So I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't root for you, but I
appreciate that.
I have to be a little objective when it comes to the broadcast. But yeah, I was super excited to see you just jumping up 14 spots there, and just hope that as you continue to gain pace, you can continue to do more. I think that I've heard at least 3 people, and I'm not gonna call them out, but 3 people independently, unrelated, have said, man, Jake finding his speed lately, and it is really fun to see. And I will tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do at the ARCA race at Watkins Glen, if you can take these lessons and put it into a stock car and go to
for sure.
a road course, because I'm a little nervous about that now, because I always found myself as the road course stock car guy. But now all of a sudden, like, Jake's finding his pace, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. This could be trouble.
I kind of think also that all the variety of things I'm doing may actually be helping me. I'm doing 2 different oval leagues, that F3 league. I've got a little Legends league that I run on road courses, and then of course both Sunday Night Skippy leagues. So
there you go.
I think just seat time is helping me out, and it's all with really competitive people. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Well, Jake, congratulations on a fantastic finish tonight, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week. We will be watching you in the Formula 2 and Formula 1 races, and I will be racing with you as well. So
exciting.
Always a good time. And one of these nights we're going to play Rocket League, I swear.
Sounds good. Hey, just hit me up.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, and we will see you next Sunday.
All right, thanks a lot. See y'all later.
See ya. Well, without further ado, let's bring in second place finisher Joshua Dancy. And I as we were talking, I meant to look this up, and now that I brought you in, I realized that I didn't. But is this the best finish that you had in the SNS series? Okay, so
it was 5th at Long Beach last season.
5th at Long Beach last season, up 5 spots total into P2 in a field that is notoriously competitive. How did you do it?
I have honestly no clue.
That's how am I supposed to get better if you don't tell me how you did it?
I mean, I like going up turn one right there, something happened on the left side, and I just went right. And by the time I looked over, I was in second. It was, I don't know. I mean, once I stayed there, I was fine, but I didn't pass anybody from sixth to second.
So did you have a kind of game plan going into it? Because you started pretty high, right? So once you realized where you qualified, were you thinking, okay, I'm going to play the fuel strategy game. I'm going to hang out in the back of this front pack. And did that all go to hell once you realized that you you had a fight? All suddenly. I mean, we're looking at it right here. We're looking at the start of the race, and a 3-second gap there on Jeffrey Decker, leading the likes of Aaron Law, Edwin Viorino.
Yeah, I've raced with Jeffrey a little bit this week, and I knew that I really couldn't catch him. I was always going to try, but I basically at that point realized like I might, if I let somebody by, I might be able to try to work our way up there. But I knew on my own I wasn't going to be able to catch Jeffrey, so it was basically just hold where I was at and do the best I can.
Now that pack that you were in was, a good 4 to 5 cars strong. Right from lap 1 all the way through. Did you have, any strategy in mind or goals in mind working with that pack? Working with Valerino and Eric Lemeru and Justin Rebello, you can sometimes get some slingshots and that sort of thing. Were you thinking more fuel saving or track position, or what was the thought?
Oh yeah, I mean, Eric and Edwin are obviously very fast. Justin's very fast. I knew Eric was exceptionally fast here this week, from just practicing with him. So I was really trying to get him in front and let him take off because I knew he was our, in my mind, best hope to catch Jeffrey. If we were going to catch him at that point, I think he was a little over 3 seconds ahead. That was how we are going to get there, and it just kind of seemed like by the time Eric got to the lead, we were already pitting. It kind of, we got a couple laps in, but it just kind of didn't work out where we could get going.
Sure. And then, in that last stretch after the pit, you had a couple of second gap on Edwin, and then we saw, we caught some back marker traffic at an unfortunate spot. That's always, I always feel my stomach just sink when I see, back marker traffic around the apex for T3, and you're going to make contact. Knowing that you had Edwin behind you, did you, shift gears in your strategy, or what were you thinking?
Yeah. So actually, I came out with I needed to save just a little bit of fuel, and once I saw Edwin there, I wasn't gonna let him catch me, but if he caught me, he caught me. And once that kind of happened, I kind of just hung out a little bit, saved a little bit of fuel, and then once I was good, I was ready to race again, basically.
Oh, okay. So it was a Ross happy little accident then, right?
Yeah, it
Managed to
was
get you
weird.
across the line.
Yeah, it was weird because like I think Eric or it was Eric maybe was 2 seconds back, and that was when I could race. And I was like, man, we've kind of let him catch up too much. Like I knew Eric was fast. I was like, he's up too far, and he'll be able to catch us then. So
Well done managing the gap in any event. We were definitely watching. The gap looked a little bit precarious to me if I was sitting in Edwin's shoes. Coming around that T7, you really prefer to be, at least within a half second. And that was, I don't know if he was 0.7, 0.8, but it's a little bit ways out. You did a really good job, managing the gap between those two. You ended up putting them too wide. I'm not sure if you're watching too closely as they're going to that final chicane,
yep.
but perfectly well executed from the position you were in.
Yeah, at that point, I was basically once I saw him go too wide, I was thinking just defend the inside because I knew Eric was going to have a really, really good run. And once I got through the first part of the chicane or whatever that's called, I knew I was going to be able to, pull away a little bit.
Yep,
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch you do the work tonight, and you came away with a P2, up 5 spots overall, and I gotta say that's gotta. I mean, there's no way that I could ever dream of doing that. So hats off to you. It was a great, well raced battle, and you stuck it out with some of the best racers on the service. So hats off. Congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll shout out my wife. She watches every race, so it's always a little motivation. And I shout out, Steve, Jr., John, Barry, Phil, and all those guys. We always practice together, so it's a lot of them what's made me, push myself a little bit harder and try to be a little bit better out here.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, she was screaming. We were watching with bated breath how you would perform, and you did not disappoint. So, congratulations once again. We will see you next week, and hopefully, you can keep up the momentum.
Oh, thank you very much. I was going to tell you. So, me and Steve have a thing. The only reason I was going to do interviews because if we ever get a podium, we were going to do interviews. So, if
Okay.
Steve ever gets a podium, you got to force him in here.
All right. I like it. I like it. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Will do. All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Well, that was Joshua Dancy coming home P2 for the evening. And I'll tell you what, man. if only I was fast enough to come home with a podium spot here in this league. Just a great group of drivers, really respectful. It doesn't always end up how everybody wants, but at the end of the day, I don't think you're going to find a finer group of competitors than what we have here. Final thoughts on Road Atlanta, Pete. I mean, I got to imagine there was a little bit of a tinge of, man, I wish I was in there. I saw Mike Bowers making comments like, ugh, this stinks. I want to be there. I want to be in there. I want to be in the fight. But at the end of the day, it was. I think we saw a lot of fine drivers earning their due and getting the credit they deserve.
Yeah, I had a great time in the booth here. Of course, especially this combo. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, there was a little bit of a wince seeing Decker get away, right? And I would have liked to be out there. But this is great. With this group of guys, like I said, top 20, I would even say any given day, right? It could have a top 5 or a podium or a couple guys sneaking up on the win, right? Jeffrey with his first win, Joshua with his first P2, that could have well been a first win. A couple other guys coming in with some of their best showings in the league. This is going to be really fun to call, really fun to watch the drivers develop, especially kind of having known drivers coming back a couple of seasons now and seeing their trajectory in the league and how everyone's working together as well, in that program with the, free comprehensive coaching that's, been on offer and those relationships will continue to work and develop through the season and start knocking out, the more and more subtle things like, we heard about fuel strategy developing with, Jake Ashe, right? Moving beyond just being, in previous interviews, if you think back 2 seasons, it'd be the concern with, just trying to keep the track, keep the car on the track, right? And tonight we're hearing about, picking up positions with sophisticated fuel strategy, right? So I'm really excited to see what happens this season. I think a lot of people are on the cusp of becoming highly competitive in that top 10, top 5 area. And man, it's going to be a tough one to call, and looking forward to the challenge.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you add value to the league, whether you're racing or you're sitting with me watching the race. I think that a lot of people were super happy that they had somebody else to listen to other than me yammering on for hours on end. And
just wait, I was too busy to work in the dad jokes. They're coming.
I know.
Well, we'll get the value in there.
I'm super disappointed in that, by the way. I am very much looking forward to the dad jokes. I think that your insight is going to be invaluable to the broadcast, and I think overall is going to, just let people understand what they're seeing just a little bit better, because I think a lot of who watches this is friends, family, maybe folks who don't actually get in the race car and do this sort of thing. So it was great to get your perspective, somebody who is very competitive in the field and can lend their expertise to us. So not to belabor the point, but we're going to say goodnight. any final thoughts from Road Atlanta as we go into Suzuka West?
Yeah, hopefully we get a little bit less exciting lap one. As much as I enjoyed the hell out of this one, it's another good track that allows a lot of good side by side fighting. Outside of that, 130R, which I would really prefer not to be too wide. Everywhere else on that track, you can fight tooth and nail and not lose too much time. So I'm hoping we see some of the top guys avail themselves of that opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, man, this was a lot of fun, and I don't know that all the drivers would agree, but I will say that this is one of the best races that I got to witness, and these guys put on a hell of a show. It was great having you here to shed some expertise light on it, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than this was a fantastic Sunday. Sad that NASCAR didn't go there at the Dirt Bristol, but any day where we get to I did some iRacing earlier, watched F1, and then got to call the Sunday night Skippy race with Pete Broughton. I'm gonna call that a win. So thank you very much everybody for watching. We're going to sign off for now, but check us out next Sunday night, same time, same station, and we'll be at Suzuka. I think it'll be an exciting show for everybody. We will continue to improve our broadcast. And clearly, we didn't have any computer issues tonight. So we went back to the 2PC solution. That seemed to work. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but if it solves those types of issues, then whatever, we'll do it. So good night from me, and have a great rest of your week. We look forward to seeing you here next Sunday.